Here's a quick look at playing 7 chords. A 7 chord is a 4-note chord. So if I'm playing a C chord, C, E, G, right? If I add another note above this, I have C, E, G, B, so that would be some kind of a C7 chord. Okay, so D, F, A, C would be a D7 chord. E, G, B, D would be an E7 chord. F, A, C, E would be an F7 chord. So it's a 4-note chord. But if you notice that these are not all the same type of chords because the intervals between each of them is a little bit different. So if I play a C chord with the B on the top, that's what's called a C major 7, because the 7th is the 7th note of the major scale. If I play C, E, G, B flat, that is what's just called a C7, also called a dominant chord. So the 7th note is flat. So C major 7, C7. Okay? Now, let's take the 7th note and let's flip it. Let's put it on the bottom. So for example, if I take the B that's at the top here and put it down here, you notice now that I have the note that is a half step below the C. So in a major 7 chord, the 7th is a half step below the root. Okay, now one easy way to do this is just to move your thumb down and play the 7th, especially if I have the root in my left hand. Okay, C major 7, C chord, C major 7. If I want to play the C7 chord with the flatted 7th, you notice now if I put that on the bottom, now I have a whole step below the C. So a C7 uses the note a whole step below. And I can either play it with all 4 notes, or I could just move my thumb down a whole step. All right? Let's do this with a G chord. G chord. G major 7, because the F sharp is the major 7th note. So if I put that underneath, it's a half step below the G. G chord, G major 7. The G7 chord has the F, okay, because the F sharp's been moved down. If I put that below the chord, now I have the whole step, okay? G chord, G7, okay? G, G major 7, G7. Let's do it with one more. Let's do it with an F chord. Here's my F chord. Okay, my F major 7 is going to have the half step, the E, F major 7. My F7 chord is going to use the note that's a whole step below, F7. Now, any of these chords, you can just move the thumb, or you could change your fingering and use all 4 notes, F7. Okay? If you're playing the bass note in the left hand, you really don't miss it. With, without, you really don't miss it. So if you're playing the root of the chord in the left hand, then you can just move your thumb. Okay, the last chord that I want to show you is a minor 7 chord. So here is our C major triad, C major chord. And to play our C minor chord, we're going to move that E flat down so it's minor. C major, C minor. The minor 7 chord uses the flat 7th that you find in the C7 chord. So this is C7, this be C minor 7. Okay? So again, you can do this by moving the thumb note. C minor, C minor 7. Okay? Let's do it with G. G chord, G minor, move the thumb down a whole step, G minor 7. Let's do it with one more. How about D? Here's D major, here's D minor, here's D minor 7, down a whole step. Okay? So that's 3 types of chords: a major 7, a 7, and then a minor 7.